No, he's not here yet, folks. It's just me. Afternoon, folks. Welcome along to your Rangers Rabble afternoon show. My name's Bryan. I'm meant to be here with Martin, but Martin is not here, as you can see. So I'm going live myself to obviously speak about Hibs nil, Rangers 1. So yes, everybody's delighted. 2 wins in a row. I believe that's the first time Hibs have been beaten in 16 games at home or over a year. So wasn't very confident going into that game. I must admit, I was feeling a bit iffy, but we got the win, and I think everybody is not at all surprised about the performance either. I think the performance wasn't very good. We dug in. I think it was one of those games where Danny Rohl mentioned that it wasn't going to be pretty at times. I think he thought that getting a win at any costs. He's mentioned that before. So yeah, that was a great result last night. And Danilo, I mean, he's coming up trumps again and again, isn't he? I've always said that guy was a good player, but injuries have just plagued him, haven't they? Injuries have plagued him. So yeah, I'm getting more confident with Danilo. I think he, as many people have mentioned, playing with two up top is better for him. I don't think he's a number 9 that plays in the zone very well. So it's nice to see him getting his chances and taking them more importantly. I think Connor Barron was tremendous last night. Played extremely well. Unfortunately, he's booked for the semi-final on Sunday, so that's a bit of an annoyance. But I mean, tremendous result last night. Yeah, I'm afraid he's not here, folks. So I waited as long as I could, and I thought, you know what, I'll just go on myself, and we'll just have a chat about last night. So yeah, up into third, folks. What a change. We were sort of toiling down in the bottom end of the league, and all of a sudden now a couple of wins, and we're right up into third. And performances again. I must stress, I don't really care about performances just now. I think 3 points is the only thing that we really care about. So it's getting that 3 points on the board every week. Might not be pretty. It might not be, very pretty and very nice to watch, but at the same time, a win's a win. And folks, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. Somebody has arrived, or will be shortly.
Hello.
Just to speak. Oh, evening. How are you?
Yes, I'm very good, Bryan. I'm very good.
I waited as long as I could, and I thought, you know what, I'll just go myself for a wee while until you join me, and here you are.
Here I am. Here I am. How are you, Bryan?
Very good, very good. Chipper today. 2 wins in a row. It's a different outlook, isn't it?
I said this on the morning rabble, right? Now, and I don't know where everybody's sitting on this, right? But I don't know if it's I'm a little bit. I don't want to come out too happy, Bryan, right? And say, all right, yep, Rangers are back. I'm happy about this. Look how well we've played. Look at what we're doing. And then we slip up again. So I'm happy about, the way that Rohl's come in, changed a few things. We managed to obviously go and beat Hibs. We played a little bit better. There's obviously a lot of things there that we need to improve. But also at the same time, I'm cautiously optimistic about how we're playing. I'm not going too two-footed in there.
You're not wanting to go 2-footed in like you did with Robin Proper. That's certainly something we don't want to ever see again. So yeah, I think cautious optimism is good.
Yes.
I don't think anybody's expecting grand things this early on in Danny Rohl's tenure, but there was a doggedness last night. There was a real different side to Rangers, wasn't there? That getting one goal. See, when we scored, I thought, oh, it's an early goal. We either concede very quickly or concede late, and well, we nearly conceded late. But that doggedness, just to see out a result 1-0, was a different side that we've experienced for a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, and kind of Cornelius has mentioned it, and Souters mentioned it as well last night. Although, what was interesting about Souter was he sort of mentioned, how much better the team's playing, and then couldn't really give a reason as to why the team's playing a little bit better. But
I
yeah,
wonder why that is.
But obviously I can't say. I don't know. Nobody does. Absolutely nobody. But yeah, we're playing better. The change of shape seems to have helped a little bit, albeit the issue that I've got is with the change of shape, we look a lot better defensively, but going forward, we don't really seem to have anything. In terms of the creativity, in terms of creating chances, we don't look great in that respect. But hopefully, that's just a matter of time before Danny Rohl turns that round. But John Souttar and Giga both look far more impressive in a back three, Brian, than they do in a back two. And loads of people said this to me as well before John Souttar came, that, oh yeah, I've been impressed with John Souttar at Hearts, etc., but he's much better in a three than he is in a two. And I think
Yeah, I
kind of
think he
last
is.
night kind of proved that a little bit.
Yeah, I think when there's two of them at the back, they get slightly exposed. They're a bit unsure when to go, when to challenge. But I think last night there was a definite. De Giga was very sort of certain in when he was going for a tackle, certain when to go in. Whereas when a two, he's thinking, right, if I go here, he's in two minds basically. If he's in a two-man defence, whereas a three-man, he's got a bit of freedom in the sense that he knows that if he goes in for a challenge, there's another defender not far away. There's an extra man in there where, if the challenge doesn't quite come off or he doesn't get it right, there's somebody else in there. Whereas I think if it's a two, he's unsure of himself and he's a bit undecided. Now, there's nothing worse than a footballer having like undecided decisions, is it? You're caught in two minds, because we all know that just doesn't work. You've got to be so sort of forthright in your decisions and getting them spot on. So yeah, I don't think this two at the back's going to work for De Giga. I think he's far more comfortable in a three. And also,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's showing, as you say, John Souttar's picking up now as well. That was a guy that was getting written off not long ago, saying that he's not good enough. Well, I think if you played him in the right framework, I think he's actually a very good defender.
Yes, he's a good defender. I'm still not going to go with a very good. Look, there's more cover there as well. And I think we have to admit that Cornelius is making a difference as well. I think I think Cornelius is quality. There's really good class, and the worry that I've got, especially for Sunday, is how bad was that bang when he headbutted John Souttar on the back of the nut. How bad? Hopefully he recovers for that in time on Sunday, because we need him.
Absolutely.
We really, really need him.
Experience at the back, a threat going forward. So yeah, very much need him on Sunday. And unfortunately, Conor Barron won't be there on Sunday because he picked up a booking, so that was his suspension up. So yeah, that was something that only sort of got picked up later on, didn't it? It was it sort of went under the radar, that sort of suspension, didn't it?
Yeah, I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, he's suspended for the cup semi because I think he picked up a booking somewhere. He's picked up more bookings than he should. So yeah, he's suspended for Sunday.
Is
so that's a bit.
Is that definite? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll change things for Sunday as well, won't it?
Massively.
He would have been a really good foil for sort of Raskin and Diamandi, and sort of being that little terrier in the midfield and sort of harassing players and getting about the pitch. More importantly, because his legs, Barron's he can go for 90 minutes.
He was outstanding last night, Brian. I know he gave away the penalty at the end, right? And I said this on the morning show, that he was about to be taken off because he was knackered. He was absolutely knackered because of how much effort he put into that game last night. And we just didn't get the opportunity. And then Tav slips and he gives away the penalty. But out with that, he was everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. He was outstanding last night. And not only was he everywhere, because we've kind of seen that before for Conor Barron in terms of his ability to get round the park. So much better with the ball at his feet. So much better with the ball at his feet. I thought he was outstanding. And yeah, he'll be missed. He'll be missed on Sunday. Because if Rohl's going to persist with that sort of formation, I know that he can change it up during games and stuff like that, and he doesn't always necessarily start with that kind of formation. I don't know how Asgard fits into that sort of four in the middle of the park. I'm not sure how Diamandi fits into that, although he probably fits into it a little bit better than Asgard. Raskin isn't on the greatest of form right now. Hopefully that changes on Sunday. But Barron, man, he ran that game yesterday. He absolutely ran that game, and that's going to be a massive miss on Sunday.
Yeah, it really will do. It really will be. The Butland, he's been one of our better players this year, you could say, and amongst all the chaos that's been happening. But come up trumps again last night. Big save, last dying embers of the game. Big moment for him. Saving us 3 points. Because effectively there was an argument that Hibs could have maybe, if they scored that, went on and maybe even snuck the win. So, they were pressuring us heavily. So yeah, big moment for Jack, wasn't it? It was a big save.
Huge save. And again, that was the issue. In fact, see, before I talk about that, I'm going to just bring these up quickly, Brian, because they've just flew in. So David Richmond has upgraded to CEO. Thank you very much, David. Bullet has also upgraded to CEO. So thank you very much, Bullet, and incredible support. We have Stephen Garrow, who has upgraded to sponsorship tier on the Rabble Network. Thank you very much, Stephen. And it's not finished there, Brian, because the Trying German has also upgraded to sponsorship tier on the Rabble Network as well. Thank you very, very much for the support, guys. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So I hope you all enjoy the extra content.
Absolutely.
Absolutely crazy. But Butland, sorry, Brian. Butland, I think if you take away that Kilmarnock game, probably been our best player this season, I would say. And I think we all worried about Butland, I think, because of last season, because look, nobody was outstanding last season. And there was a lot of players that were okay, like poor to okay, right? As the best way I could put it. And Butland was in that category, and he made a lot of mistakes. There was his confidence was shattered. It was all over the place. But this season he's woke back up effectively, and he's the reason why it's still only 5 points between us and Celtic. Some of the saves that he's made, and last night was no exception. Yes, penalties, a bit of luck involved in penalties, of course, because it's a guess at the end of the day. But I think that's him now up to like a 30% save rate or something in penalties. I mean, he made a phenomenal save against Kilmarnock after he'd made the blunder, so he gets straight back on it. And yesterday again, he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. The problem that I think Butland's had for a long time, Brian, is that he's had nothing in front of him to support him or help him, and the defence has been so poor, and the team defensively have been so poor. So he's been under a lot more pressure than what you would naturally expect to be under at Rangers, to be fair. But I'm so happy with how he's playing this season.
Absolutely. I mean, to think Martin, before Rohl came in, we were 10th, 11th, just floundering down there, rudderless, not looking anything like a team that we expect. And then within two league games, Danny Rohl's managed to get 2 wins, a clean sheet away at Easter Road, which, let's not underestimate. They hadn't lost a game in 16 games at home, and I think it was over a year since they'd lost at Easter Road. So, going there, everything, all the sort of the stats and everything wasn't backing up a Rangers win. It really wasn't. So to go there and get a 1-0 win, clean sheet, I don't think that can be underestimated, can it?
Absolutely not. It's a huge win. Absolutely huge win. At the same time, though, and this is what I said when I first came on, Brian, and again, this is why I don't want to come on and be pessimistic whatsoever, and I'm not. I'm just being realistic. They had chances, Hibs, and at the start of the second half, their striker, all right, it comes up and quickly. I don't think he really sees it. 2 yards out, open goal, and he hits it past the post. They had a couple of other opportunities, and they had a penalty. So it's not like I'm not sitting here going, well, that was an immense defensive performance from Rangers, because Hibs did have chances, but at the end of the day, they didn't take them. So we come away for Easter Road with a massive win and a clean sheet, which is, before the game, nobody would have said we were keeping a clean sheet. But we also, at the same time, Bryan, have to focus on, but we still need a hell of a lot of improvement in this Rangers team. It's by nowhere near the finished article. We're not good going forward, albeit that's 2 games in a row where Danilo's pulled out 2 exquisite finishes. But there's so much that we need to improve on.
Yeah. Just looking forward to Sunday now, because obviously that's the attention turns to that now. What is the mindset of the players now? Because before Kilmarnock, I don't think the players were in a decent place. I think they'd just come off a heavy 3-0 loss in Bryan, so confidence wasn't very high. But suddenly, 2 wins in a row, one being at Easter Road. Surely the confidence is really up for Sunday. I mean, I think the players might. It doesn't take much to change. Confidence doesn't take much to change, does it? You can go from a low to a high extremely quickly. And I think going into Sunday now, the players' mindset is completely changed, doesn't it?
Every interview with a player since Danny Rohl came in, obviously after the European game, but every interview has been, we feel the mentality shifted. We feel more together. We feel more like a cohesive unit. And every time Danny Rohl speaks, it's my team, what we do. He's building that team unity back, and he's probably been doing that from moment one. So yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that the players feel more part of a team. We silly things like, you see Dujon Sterling coming back from injury, and he's doing light training, and they're all messing with him on the training park, and everybody's laughing and joking. But at the same time, there's some hard work and serious work going on in the background. So yeah, Danny Rohl's came in and almost overnight changed the mentality. Now, it's still a fragile group in terms of, it only takes one heavy defeat or even one defeat for some of these players' mentality to change, and we've seen that, but there's nothing Danny Rohl can do about that. He's got to wait until at least January before he can bring players in and try and get rid of some players, because there's no way he's looking at all the players in that team going, no, they're all good enough. Yeah, I'm happy with all of them. Of course he wants to make changes. Of course he wants to bring in his own players. So, but up until then, he has to work with the players that he's got, and the job that he seems to be doing, if you listen to every player that comes out in every interview they talk about, it's a pretty good job he's doing so far.
It really is. I mean, for example, just the defensive line, for example. I mean, Kilmarnock, you could argue, didn't have any chances against us, although they scored. That was the only chance that you could argue that they had to score. And then Hibs, they do leak some chances, but they've kept a clean sheet, as you said. They haven't conceded. Now, mentally going forward, doesn't matter how you play. As long as you keep a clean sheet as a defender, that's your job done. Same as a striker. Striker could have, one chance in a game, but as long as he scores, that's his job done. So effectively, the defence did their job last night, and they kept a clean sheet. So that for me is massive going into Sunday, because it's one thing winning a game, but if you win a game and keep a clean sheet, I think that sends a good message to the support. I think even the players will take from that is big confidence, because they now believe they can keep clean sheets away from home, because I think that was another issue going away from home. We weren't even keeping clean sheets, so that was a sort of monkey off the back, if you call it like that.
We weren't keeping clean sheets at home either, though. We just weren't keeping clean sheets. The gaps in the team were horrendous. The individual performances. As soon as we did concede, all the heads went down, and we just thought automatically, well, that's us beat now because we've conceded a goal. I don't think it can be underestimated what job Danny's done since he's come into the football club in such a short space of time. But there are some players, Bryan, and like everybody's favourite Nico Raskin, I don't think he's been as bad as what he's been made out to be across social media. I don't think he's been that bad, but he's not been up there at the level that he's shown that he can be at. So when a real quality player, in my opinion, the best player in Scotland, his level's up here, and everybody else's level in Scotland's running about there, and he's came down it's so noticeable. that he's not playing to the level that he should be. So Raskin needs to, and I think it's a case of playing through it. I don't think it's dropping him. Me personally, I think you play Raskin through it, and he just comes back to that level that he was at before. Max Aarons, I think, played okay last night, but is still playing within himself. I think there's more there from Max. Whether we will ever see that, I don't know. I'm not sure. I have a doubt, but I think even with Max playing within himself, I don't think he's far off Tav anyway. Where Tav is now in his career, I think it was noticeable when Tav came on that he's finished, Brian. He's absolutely finished. I'm trying. Who else can I? Chermiti, a couple of nice touches, but sometimes with the ball at his feet, it looks as if he's never played football before. I think there's a lot of work still left to do with Chermiti. So in terms of the individual players, in terms of the way that they players play as a team, I'm so much happier than what I was. And I see signs that there's something there with this group, with this unit of players that we've got. But there's still issues within that as well, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, there's still niggling little issues that we've seen for a long time. It was a brave lineup last night. You know what I mean? Moore, Chermiti and Danilo. That was a brave front line to go with because, everybody's asked, wanting Gassam, they're wanting Ant-Man, they're wanting Curtis. There's a lot of players that are getting touted for those positions, and that was a brave front line to go with because, you could argue all three of them are very maligned in the eyes of the Rangers support. They're not getting much credence and credit from the fans because, Moore's been poor since he came in, or, you could argue that. Chermiti, well, enough's been said about him, and then Danilo's been out injured. So it was a brave front line to go with, that three, because, as I say, all three have been under serious pressure for a long, well, Danilo being the most because he's been here the longest, but especially with the other two. Moore came up with a great reputation, hasn't shown much of that yet. And then you've got Chermiti, who came with a big price tag. So it was a ballsy move, wasn't it?
Very, very. And Moore, I just don't think he's suited at all to Scottish football. But it's too compact for him. I don't want to say it's too quick for him, but I just don't think he suits our game. And I hope I'm wrong, and I hope over the coming weeks we see the player that you were told we were going to get. And I think he's looked a lot better. Don't get me wrong. But his decision making, he's a young boy, obviously he's going to get better, but his decision making, the time that it takes him to make up his mind about what he's going to do. Yeah, but it was a very ballsy move by the manager. But I think we're going to continue to see that. We're going to see starting lineups, and we're going to see formations, and we're going to see styles where we all go, what on earth is this? Yeah, before the game, Brian, I was saying, is this a 3-5-2? Is this a 3-4-3? Is this a 4-7-1-7-9-2? What is this? I've got no idea what we're trying to do here. And managers, especially if you look at even the likes of Gerrard attempted to sort of change formation once, and he went to a kind of 3-5-2. Was it Motherwell against Motherwell, and it just failed miserably. Yeah. Clement was stuck to his way of playing. Gio was stuck to his way of playing. Barry Ferguson was. Most managers that we've had a way of playing, and they stuck to it.
Yeah.
Whereas Danny Rohl, I don't think Danny Rohl looks at formations the same way that we all look at formations. I just think he looks at where players are in the park and the job that he asks them to do on the park. And I like it. I do, I must admit. Because if we don't know, Brian, other teams haven't got a clue.
No. And I think the thing as well with the 3-5-2 formation is it gives you two up top, which is what Rangers fans will be asking for a good while. It gives you, five in the middle, but potentially one or two going forward when we're attacking. You've then got if we are attacking, for example, you've got the three defenders. Well, one of them can step up and play the anchor role like the holding role while midfielders are going forward. I just think there's so much more flexibility in a 3-5-2. You can change it in a second just to suit what you're doing. It's not a defensive formation. I always folks say it's defensive minded. It's not really. It's very attacking because you're trying to give more freedom to the attacking sort of midfielders. If you've got last night there was Raskin and Barron in the midfield. Both of them can get forward, but at the same time they can both defend. So you've got to be disciplined when in this system, because one person out of the position not playing right and the whole thing goes to pot, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's about discipline. It's about keeping the mentality. It's about improving every week. It's about listening to what the coach, the managers want you to do. And obviously, Danny Rohl's coaching team have kind of went under the radar a little bit as well, because it's not all him, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's about his coaching team as well. So I think they deserve a lot of props. But like I say, I don't want to come on here and give it that everything's fantastic, everything's phenomenal, everything's great. We're feeling good now. We've shot our way back up the table. We need to keep doing that. We need to keep improving. There's a lot to improve in this team, but at least I think we can all look at Danny Rohl and go, yeah, we trust you. Yeah, we believe that this is going to improve because you've shown us what you can do in a small amount of time. But it's going to take a while, I think, for us for me to come on and for you to come on and for other guys to come on this show and go, aren't we good, by the way? Look at what we've done. And going into games, I mean, even the next game, not Celtic, but just any team off the top of your head, going away to Dundee or going away to Dundee United or whatever, to go into that game going, yep, we're definitely going to win the day. That's a long way away, I think, for us. We're still going into that game going, I mean, yeah, we should win, but are the players going to pull it off for us? Are the players going to manage it? Are the players going to handle the pressure? Because right now the pressure seems to be off a little bit. Being that far down the table in terms of the pressure of going on and winning the league or going on and winning cups, expectations have been low because of where the support's at. The better that the players start doing and the more wins that we put together and the more wins we get in a row, then the expectations and the pressure start to come back on and back on and back on. And does this team, do these players have the mentality to deal with that pressure? Well, we need to wait and see.
Well, for me, acid test 1 was last night. That was a huge moment for the team and the manager. Acid number 2 is obviously Sunday, big game, Hampden Cup semi, chance to get in a final. Danny Rohl spoke about always only wanting to concentrate on one game at a time. Well, he's about to find out build up to what a old firm build up is really like. It's just not a week long. It's only a few days, but he's going to feel it from all sides now, isn't he? The media are going to ramp things up. We know, the officials have been released. Who's doing that? Obviously, new manager across the road. So there's a lot going on that Danny's having to deal with. And even in his press conference, the first question he was asked, Martin, "Oh, what do you think of the situation at Celtic?" And he's like, "Well, I'm here to talk about my team and me, not speaking about another team." So you can see it starting straight away.
The good thing for Danny Rohl is he can see when he's asked questions like that, he can kind of hide behind the language barrier thing a little bit, which, you know what, fair play to him. If you've got that ability, then go and do it, because Danny Rohl doesn't care who the Celtic manager is. Danny Rohl doesn't care who's leaving the Celtic job or what's happening behind the scenes. None of us really care. I mean, all right, okay, we haven't had much to laugh about. So, I mean, I was talking to my boy and I says, well, what did you expect? That's Brendan Rodgers. That's what Brendan Rodgers does. Brendan Rodgers is in the Brendan Rodgers game, and that's it. We can have a wee laugh and a joke because we haven't had much to laugh and joke about. But Danny Rohl's just in the door. All his focus is on my players, is on my coaching staff, is on preparing for the next game, is about doing this, is about doing that. So asking him stupid questions like that in a press conference and expecting him to come out and go, "Oh, well, I mean, what an idiot Brendan Rodgers is," or "Oh, how bad is that Celtic board?" He doesn't give a monkeys. And he's played the media really well, I have to say, because he's kept a smile on his face, he's kept it pleasant, he's avoided questions when he's had to avoid them, but he's also keeping them on side, which isn't as important as it used to be, but it's still good. it's still good to keep the media on side, and he's doing it really, really well. And by the way,
Yeah.
Bryan, can we just give a big shout out to a certain St Mirren manager, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good performance from them, wasn't it?
I mean, obviously, I'm biased according to people. I don't know what I'm talking about according to people. But yes, credit Stephen Robinson. And I will bring this up just while I'm on my high horse about Stephen Robinson. If you enjoy the content, folks, if you enjoy the show, you can help us out even more by becoming a channel member and joining the Rabble Network. It gives you access to loads and loads of extra content, including 4 morning phone-ins, free nightly shows during the week, along with EPL shows, along with wrestling shows, along with weekend Rangers shows as well, including the Random Rabble. And it gets you access to the Rangers Rabble Discord as well. Links for that are in the description. And channel member Vix, just explaining exactly what happens to you when you join the Rabble Network. I'm now in the Discord and even talking about wrestling. What's wrong with me? I'm going to end up in the Priory at this rate. Now, I know that's not exactly selling the Rabble Network, right? But, I mean, it is a bit of a laugh at Discord. Sometimes I need to take a couple of days away from it because I'm feared that it might shut the Rabble down one day. But it is a quality place where if you want to see me dressed up as any historical figure, just go to the Discord. It's absolute madness. It's absolute madness. But yeah, Stephen Robinson, Bryan, cracking manager.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they were very unlucky not to go 3-1 up when I don't know if you've seen it. I mean,
I've not seen it. No.
I mean, wait till you see this disallowed goal that St Mirren got to go 3-1 up. It's frightening. It's amazing how bad some referees are. I mean, I've looked it back, and for me, it's the softest reason to block a player I've ever seen. But yeah, I mean, credit where credit's due. St Mirren always make it hard, though, don't they? They're never a team that really roll over, and especially with Stephen Robinson. He's an astute manager. He's very clever, and he's been round the block a few times. So it wasn't a surprise, that was it?
No, it wasn't. I think most people were saying, Paisley's a hard place to go. It's not Love Street anymore. I don't exactly know what St Mirren's stadium's called now. But let's just say Love Street, right? It is not an easy place to go. I think he's doing an absolutely phenomenal job with St Mirren. And yeah, I think St Mirren have got themselves a cracking manager. As Bryan tries to look. Simsa?
The SMISA Stadium, whatever that means. The Simsa Stadium.
Simsa.
So,
there you go.
So looking at the league now, Mark, we're 5 points behind Celtic, 9 behind Hibs. Is there any degree of optimistic caution now in the league? Or
yes.
Are we still... Yeah?
Yes, there is. 5 points is nothing, right? Considering we still need to play Celtic 3 times in the league, and we still need to play Hearts 3 times in the league. There's your 5 points, 9 points. It's nothing. But can we keep going? Can we put in, a 10, 11, 12, 13 game unbeaten run? Can we go to maybe Parkhead and get a draw? Against Celtic the last season and a half, it's been okay. We've not really struggled against Celtic as much. But it's all the other teams. Can we put consistency, as Remy say? Can we put a consistent run together moving forward? Can we invest properly in January? Because I've no doubt Celtic will, and I've no doubt Hearts probably will invest in January as well. And it's about, can we get the investment right? Can our scouting be done properly? Can we bring in the right players? Can we support the manager properly? So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's impossible. It is absolutely possible. But it's going to take everything to gel together, and we need to get a lot of things right for that to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Multiple Man pointed out, it is 11 points, not 9. My apologies. My maths
11, sorry. Hearts will drop. Hearts will, though, I would say traditionally drop more points than what a Rangers and a Celtic would, although I think with the evidence that we've seen so far, ourselves and Celtic will drop more points. I know there's a lot of people screaming and shouting about how they won 4-0 last night. Falkirk at home. That's all I would say to that. I know we drew away with Falkirk, but that was when we were going through the period of time that we were going through with Russell Martin in charge and stuff. Falkirk at home. I wouldn't read too much into that. Rangers and Celtic, unless all of a sudden it just turns around and both teams improve at the same time, we'll continue to drop points this season as well. And Hearts will enter into stages of the season where I think they'll drop more points than both is. So it's all to play for, Brian. But like I say, and I'll repeat myself for the final time, we need to get more things right than Hearts and Celtic do for us to be able to go on and win the league.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, that's just about us, folks. I mean, reacting to obviously the result last night. We've got a big. We've got tomorrow. We've got the morning rabble tomorrow. They've then got the afternoon rabble, and on the afternoon rabble tomorrow, I believe you have Craig and Kenny
and me
and Martin. Yes, well, maybe.
Maybe. But tonight at 7, we've also got a special Rabble Reports with Ian T1000 and Stuart for CEO Plus members.
Is this Thompson Thursdays now as well, or is it?
No, I've told them. Look, you can come at me once and say you're going to leave and threaten to leave if you don't get what you want, and you'll get one show named after you. I'm not naming 2 shows after you.
Is that the line in the sand drawn?
That's it.
That is it, absolutely. But no, that'll be on tomorrow, folks, and then of course you'll have your members show on Friday night coming up as well. Plenty and more. I believe there's maybe a squeezing in of a wrestling, perhaps maybe.
Not this week. The wrestling's back on Monday.
Monday next week. There we go, folks. So yeah, that is us for this afternoon. I'm back at work, so I'll be diving off to that not long. So thank you very much, Martin. Thank you for arriving and being here.
What I thought, Brian, right? The truth is, I thought Brian can do this on his own. So I'm going to watch him from the beginning. Under no circumstances was I cleaning the kitchen and talking to the missus and completely lost track of time. That did not happen. So I knew that you could handle this, Brian. And I just thought, I'm going to leave him to it.
I gave you enough rope, and I thought, well, he's not here, so yeah, I'll have to just go. Couldn't let the members be there hanging for too long. So I thought, no.
Brian, you've been in my house, haven't you?
Yes.
I've never got up these stairs so quick in all my life.
Even phoning didn't work. That was the annoying thing. And then I thought, you know what? I'll just start it and see what happens. I knew you'd arrive eventually.
No, because my phone was sitting in here.
Call it mobile for a reason.
It's not even moved.
Honestly, folks, what can you do? What can you do? Absolutely, Martin sacked him. Absolutely. But that is us. As I say, we'll be back tonight with the Rabble Reports at 7 o'clock, and then the morning and afternoon Rabbles tomorrow. I've been Brian. That's been Martin. Thank you very much, and we'll speak very, very soon.